email marketing, and I'm about to show you exactly how I did it and exactly how you can too. Look, there's about 10 major reasons that you really want to consider email marketing as really the backbone of your business. And today, what I want to do is I want to break down these 10 and be able to give you a path to use email marketing to basically automate your sales process. I mean, we're talking about making sales while you sleep. We're talking about making sales without being on the phone doing all of the work. So if you have a sales team or you're doing the selling and you want this to be as automated as you possibly can get, well, I'm going to show you how I did it when built a 7-figure business and exited, and now how I've used the exact same tactics to be able to build an 8-figure business and growing. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter what you sell. It doesn't matter what your products and services are. This is a way to automate your sales process, to do the heavy lifting, to do either a way where that people convert on their own or need very little work from your sales team to actually be able to convert. It's real. It happens. I've done it. I'm going to show you how, and a lot of others have done it, and this is the exact path forward. So here's the top 10 reasons you want to build email marketing, and we're going to talk a lot about this and how to do it amongst these 10. So first of all, when we talk about sales funnels, when we talk about email marketing, here's the gist. Here's where I learned why they're important. You know, I had a consumer credit business 14 plus years ago. And what happened was when we had people on the phone, they didn't believe that our service worked. It wasn't me. It wasn't the company. They didn't think what we did as a company actually worked. So it wasn't just enough that we had to sell ourselves and sell our company, right? Then we had to sell them on the fact that what we did even worked. It caused me great frustration. So here's what I did. I got so mad that one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to take all these questions and objections I'm getting. I'm going to write out what I think they should know. And I put it into an email sequence, right? An email funnel. And then what happened was when people would come in, we would put them in that sequence. A couple of months in, somebody came to me and said, hey, I get your emails. And I have a couple questions. Asked a couple questions. They said, I'm ready to enroll. It was a shocking moment to me. I'll never forget this phone call. Because I said, don't you have any other questions? No, I get your emails. I have all my other questions answered. I just had those two. I'm ready to enroll. There was no resistance. There was no objection. All that we'd ever dealt with in a sales process was evaporated, gone. And so I asked that client, dug in a little bit more, and it continued to happen. And here's what I realized. What I realized was as a well-built email sequence funnel does all the heavy lifting for you. What was happening was we were building trust. We were building credibility. We were building rapport. We were showing that we were experts at what we did. We were solidifying ourselves as experts. All of these things we were doing. So then it flipped the script. Instead of us chasing people, convincing them why they should work with us, they started coming to us and basically requesting. They wanted to work with us without us chasing them. They were basically requesting to be a client, us not chasing them. And here's what happened. They had so much rapport, trust, credibility with us that we were the obvious choice. Think of it like this. You're going to buy a house, right? A real estate agent, you're either going to choose the person that you drive by on the park bench, or you're going to choose the one that sends you emails and teaches you how to buy a home, how to evaluate a home, how to find the right mortgage lender, how to choose the right school district for your kids, everything involved with buying a home. The person that educates and teaches you instantaneously has more credibility. There's somebody you like more. There's somebody you trust more. You have a feeling of, wait, if they're doing this for free, then what's it like to actually work with them? So again, now what happens is that person's constantly educating you and you put them on a pedestal, seeing them as an authority. Now you want to do business without authority. Tony Robbins is not out there trying to convince people why they should do business with him. People do business with him because he's seen as an authority. That's exactly what you want to accomplish, and it's exactly what email marketing is able to do for you. So here's the 10 things you need to think about. Number one is it gives you direct communication with your audience. Email is one of the most effective ways to reach people besides text. Text open rates are through the roof. If you are going to try to communicate with somebody, email is second of most other kind of correspondence out there. So it's a very, very scalable, easy, effective, proven way to actually make contact with your actual customers. Let me give you an example. So we had an opportunity to get a tremendous amount of leads from a source. And we had another person that we wanted to give that same opportunity to, and we did. They took it and they failed. They said, I'm not doing this, because the phone numbers that we're getting on this list are bad. So they cleaned their hands, gave up, said they're done. Now, we got that exact same list, and guess what? The phone numbers were bad. We didn't care because we took that list and we were able to, following all the rules, start sending them emails instead. And that list has been ridiculously effective. I mean, multiple 7 figures in revenue we will make off that list that somebody else said no to. What's the difference? Their only medium, their only way they were reaching customers to make sales was actually by calling them. And when they didn't have the ability to call, they didn't make sales. Now, because we had the ability to call and email, then what happened was we were able to not need to call them, to email them instead, not even deal with TCPA and all the regulations and things like that. And the result of that is we will make millions of dollars this year on that exact same list. Email communication is ridiculously effective. And I've seen this happen time and time again, where companies that only are call centric, it's all they do is calls, they lose major opportunities because they don't have effective email marketing. So it's one of the main reasons that you want to adopt email marketing and an email sales funnel, because this helps you actually have a better line of communication direct with your customers. 2, very, very, very high ROI, right? Our return on investment. So when we look at ROI, let me see. Email marketing offers one of the highest ROIs of any marketing channel. This is what I'm getting online. An average return of $36 for every $1 you spend. Okay, what do you think about that? If you spent $100 and got $360 back, how many $100 would you spend? If you spent $1,000 and made $3,600 back, how many thousands would you spend, right? That's insane. 36 times of what you actually spent. That's how effective it is. Email marketing is ridiculously cheap. There's a great company called Profit Lifter that uses AI to create a lot of the emails for you, even if you need a source. Whether you're using Profit Lifter or another solution, the idea is the same. It's very, very, very cost effective to be able to send emails in mass, and you get such ROI from doing that. Ours is considerably more than 36 times of what we pay at scale. But I can tell you it's one of the most cost-effective ways you could ever market. Hey, I'm going to make a confession. When I first started Credit Suite, I had no budget. I had $100. Literally, $100 a month was my budget. I had no money. So how do I take a $100 a month budget and build it into an 8-figure company? I'll tell you what I did. Don't get me wrong. Not saying to do this. Back in the day, what I did was I hired people to get scrapers and scrape places like the Yellow Pages or wherever I could find emails. Then I would just drop them into my email funnel. I built an email funnel. I was so confident that it delivered enough value to people and gave them enough quality information they wouldn't opt out, and I was right. Okay, we still use the same CRM that we had back then today, right? So we didn't burn it, even though we were dropping all these contacts in there without even them coming to us and emailing them. I don't do that nowadays, right? Because I spam, K-Enact, and a lot of things changed. But I'm telling you, I built an 8-figure business using that methodology. And I did it because I was able to come in and get high ROI. I was able to get lists, send them in there, send them emails, make a lot of money on sales, take that money, invest it into ads, then take those ads and use that to scale the company. This all helped me build an 8-figure business. And by the way, the ads, the people that come in from ads, they all go into an email funnel. Okay, it's the second reason that this is such an effective way for you to be able to grow your business. Number 3, segmentation and personalization. What email funnels allow you to do is segment your audience and have different messages to them. Let me give you an example. We have found in our world that an entrepreneur that makes $10,000 a month in their business has different needs than somebody that makes $10,000 or less. We actually had a really good incentive to go through hundreds of our customer base and ask them, what motivates you? What are you afraid of? What keeps you up at night? What do you want? What's your goals? And what we found was a complete segmentation of below and above 10K a month. And what we realized as a company was we were talking to everybody the same way, even though there was these 2 different avatars that had 2 different needs. Once we realized this, we built 2 different email funnels. So now the people that have $10,000 a month of revenue or more, when they grab our free book, our ebook, our guide, they say on the form, I make $10K a month or more, or I make $10K a month or less. What we send them is completely separate. Their objections are different. The information they need is different. What they'll buy is different. So we treat them completely different. And what this has allowed us to do is take people that could never afford our expensive top-end product and now sell them something they can't afford. And now they buy it like hotcakes. I don't know what that means. I know people buy a lot of hotcakes, but that's the saying, right? So they buy like crazy because we talk to them differently. We talk about their objections, their problems, their goals. We introduce things that they want to buy. And then as a result of that, we have more people buying because they can buy what they can afford. So again, segmentation of an audience, you're probably dealing with the same thing. You have multiple different avatars. So what I mean by that is you probably have some people that can afford this but can't afford that, right? So in that world, you want to segment. You want to create personalization and talk to them separately because their needs, their problems, their desires are all different from other people in your audience. And email allows an easy way to segment those audience. They come in on an opt-in form. They say A or B. A, they go in this sequence. B, they go in that sequence. And that has been very effective for us to scale rapidly. Number 4 reason you really need to be looking at email marketing is automation and scalability. Look, the reality is if you have to hire a salesperson to do all the heavy lifting, you're never going to be profitable. You're just going to sit there and have very small margins or no margins because what's ultimately happening is you're paying all the money you're bringing in out to sales reps. What you want to do is handle as much volume as you can. That is going to help you scale. And scaling is all done through automation. So through automation, you're able to actually start growing because I can bring now 5,000 extra leads into my company. It's not like I have to try to call them all. They're all going into my email funnel, and then my email funnel will give them an opportunity to schedule consultation, and those people go to sales, not the 5,000 I'm bringing in. So this allows us to bring in massive amounts of leads. I mean, a lot of different leads. We have one lead source that gets us 100,000 plus leads a month. Okay, you couldn't handle that with a normal sales team. But when we're able to go through and put them into a sequence, then we're able to pull them out of the sequence when they're interested in consultation, get them to scales, and the sequence just automatically continues to market to them for us and continues to pull more and more and more people out and put them into consultations where they become sales. So automation and scalability, number 4 reason why you really want to consider building an email marketing funnel. Number 5, measurable and data-driven. So what I mean by that is that I can actually monitor my open rates, my click-through rates, my conversion rates per email. One of my good buddies is an ex-CIA agent, and I was at a mastermind 2 years ago with him where he showed all of his metrics. And he can tell you every click that he gets in an email, how much money that means to him. Because he knows that X amount of clicks means Y amount of people will purchase. That means that when he's offering something through his email, he knows that this amount will click and this amount that click will buy. So again, this is a measurable and data-driven way to be able to grow your business. We can monitor how many emails we send out, how many get opened. Then we can modify the subject line and get more opens. Then we can see how many people click through, and we can modify the email content to get more click through. Then whatever's on the other end is usually either something we want them to see, information we're giving them, or an action we want them to take. Register for a webinar, get a free ebook or guide, schedule a consultation, etc. By the way, Kim is coming in from Las Vegas from Facebook. Kim, thanks for coming in and saying hello. So measurable, data-driven. It's very, very important. And these are other reasons that you really want to build that email sequence to basically start making money automatically for your company without you having to do all the heavy lifting. That brings me to number 6. It's mobile friendly. Okay, we're all running our business from our phones nowadays. Yes, I'm in front of a computer. The minute I leave this computer, I'm taking my phone with me and I'm doing the stuff I need to do on my phone, right? So this gives us the ability, unlike ever before, to check our emails all the time. I don't have to wait till the morning till I'm sitting in front of the computer to do it. And that's the way that your buyers are using it as well. So email is mobile friendly. It's something that people can easily access on their mobile. They're looking for things to do. They're able to go through and get information, education, engage with you all through their mobile phone. So anything you could deliver that makes it easy for them to get the content you want to get, you want to do. And look, when I'm mobile, I'm not listening to podcasts. I'm listening to podcasts at the gym. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not listening to, and I'm listening to podcasts in the car. By the way, if you have teenage kids, don't let them listen to negotiating podcasts. That has not worked well for me. My kids can now out negotiate me because they've listened to too much of the content I listen to. But back to the point here, we don't listen to podcasts on the fly typically, right? We're not typically watching videos and movies on the fly. But we have the ability that if I get in line, I'm pulling up my email, I'm checking it, I'm actually progressing and doing something. Email gives you that capability. Mike, one of my absolute live stream favorites, is in the house from St. Louis. Thanks for coming in and saying hi, Mike. By the way, if you're just coming in, give me a shout out in the live stream, and I'm going to give you a shout out here as well. Number 7 reason that you really want to consider the power of email marketing is that you're building customer relationships and trust. Look, people buy from people they like. People buy from people they trust. People don't buy from your company. They're buying from you. They want to buy from somebody that they actually believe in, that they trust. And again, just like I said, Tony Robbins doesn't have to convince people to buy from him. He is seen as an authority. They want to buy for him. So the idea for you is that you want to be seen as an authority. You want to be seen as a trusted authority in the area that you're in. You need to build trust. You need to build credibility. You need to build rapport. That's really hard to do on one phone call. Okay, it's really hard. But if you start getting my emails and you come in and you say you're interested in business credit, and I say, okay, you're interested in business credit. Well, here's a 2-minute video on everything you need to know about business credit. Oh, and by the way, next email, you should get your DUNS number. It's one of the first steps. Here's a 1-minute video on a DUNS number, and here's the link to click to get it done. Here's how to be able to complete the application. Then we come in and say, hey, here's 7 things business credit will do for you that you probably didn't even know exist. You should pay attention. 2-minute video. And then in the next email, you say, hey, do you know if you're set up with Experian now? Click this link and find out for free. What's happening in this email funnel is I'm delivering value to you. I'm teaching you things you didn't know. I'm educating you on something I want you to know about what I sell that you didn't know before. And then I'm giving you what I call easy wins, little things you can do to progress towards your goal. If you're opting in to get my guide on building business credit, then I want you to be able to start building business credit. Now, it might sound advantageous, right? It might be one of those things where you say, well, that doesn't make any sense. If I'm selling something, why would I give them the path to that? Because there's 2 types of people out there. There's somebody that just is a DIYer. They want your free info. They want your content. They're never going to buy, no matter what you do. And then there's people like me. I will pay for the faster, easier path and the better result. I will pay to get a better result. Other people won't. So the email sequence is to get people like me to buy. The people that won't buy, you'll still build a loyal tribe that will do anything to be able to protect you out in the world of the internet because you delivered so much value to them. And by the way, Wesley Jones is in the house from Atlanta. What's up, Wesley? I was just up in your part weeks ago. It's probably cold up there. It's definitely cold down here for us Floridians. So thanks for joining. So again, you need to make sure that you're building relationships and trust. And that's exactly what email funnels allow you to do. I'm delivering value. I'm delivering wins. I'm educating you. I'm doing all this. And I'm not asking you for anything in return. You're not getting in my email sequence and I'm trying to sell you, sell. It sounds slimy when you do that and when you start treating people that way. We want to make deposits of goodwill. Then we can make a withdrawal of asking them to buy. And that's where so many people go wrong. It's all transactional. They're trying to get people to buy from them, but they're not doing what needs to be done to build enough trust to be able to get people to want to buy from you. You have to be able to build that trust, that credibility, that rapport. And that really happens through an email sequence because you're giving so much value. You're establishing yourself as an expert. And people are like, I like this guy. I like these guys. He just taught me this and this and this. I already got my DUNS number from him. I checked my Experian credit profile. I now got my first vendor. Like that is how you get customers because they see the value and see you as an expert. And you're building that trust, credibility, and rapport without asking for anything in return, which they are then inclined to reciprocate and be able to buy from you. That brings me to number 8, nurturing leads. I effed this up. I think I could say effed. I effed it up big time. I had a mortgage company. And I lost the mortgage company during the mortgage crisis. And I'll tell you about the mortgage crisis. And I'll tell in my stories about how what happened was I did the loans and that went away overnight. I'll tell you that. If you listen to my founding story, you'll hear all of that. But here's what I don't tell people. I effed up. I effed up because I never had an email sequence when I had that mortgage company. I didn't know it. I didn't understand it. See, I ran ads and people responded, and I got those people on the phone and I sold the people I could, and that was my business. And I never had an email sequence, and I never kept in touch with them, and I never followed up with them. But then the mortgage crisis occurred and my ads stopped working. And I had no solution. I didn't have a solution. All I ever did was ads, and then I scaled it, scaled. So when they stopped working, I didn't have another solution. Okay. And so ultimately, my business failed. Now, if I would have had an email funnel, what would have happened is every lead that came in, I would have put into an email funnel and educated them about mortgages. And when it came time for them to buy, they would have come to me. And instead of losing every lead that I ever talked to that didn't buy and did buy because I never marketed or kept in touch with them, if I would have kept in touch in front of all these thousands and thousands of people that came in, then they would have referred me to other people. They would have come back and bought again and again and again and again. So as a result of that, I took a successful 7-figure mortgage business and rammed it right into the ground because I never had an email sequence to help me with this. And that all comes down to nurturing leads. By nurturing leads, you're staying in front of somebody all the time. When I first get into an industry, I screw up on the phone. I screw it up. But I don't care because I know that they're going to get my emails and I'll get another shot to talk to them. And it's what we tell our sales team here. It's okay. Hey, if you messed up, that's okay. You didn't lose the lead because they're going to continue to get our emails. And more than likely, they're going to attend a webinar or watch a video. They're going to schedule a consultation. We're going to get another shot to be able to help them. But if you don't have an email sequence to nurture the lead, you are not going to get another shot. So you got to make sure that you have an email sequence and every lead goes into it. Now you're building this database of people that keep getting your information without exaggeration. I mean, no exaggeration. We have people that are in our email sequence for 4 years before they buy. 4 years. You ain't calling somebody for 4 years asking them to buy. It's not going to happen. But here's the point. The point is everybody's not ready when you first start talking to them. They might not be ready to buy in 90 days, no matter what you do or say. You could give your product away for 90% discount and they still wouldn't buy because they're not ready for the product or service. But by having an email sequence where you nurture them, you're in front of them. So when they are ready, they come to you to buy. Okay. Don't do what I do. Don't run your business in the ground because you don't nurture leads. Use an email sequence to be able to do that. And that brings me to number 9, event promotion and time-sensitive offers. We do a lot of value through our email, a lot of value, give. But then we also do promotions. And we also have offers in there where we say, hey, why don't you buy today and we'll give you this bonus. Buy today and we'll do this. Okay, so we use this as a way to build goodwill. And then we'll ask somebody, we'll say, hey, if you want the shortcut to building business credit, buy today and we're going to give you these extra bonus incentives. We'll give you this bonus of a GPT that helps you find your NAICS code and figure out the right business credit that works for you. So now we're able to use this to be able to have offers and specials and promos. Why is that valuable? I'll give you an example. Here at Credit Suite, our fourth quarter slows down. That's what happens at the end of the year. A lot of our core avatars using their disposable income to prepare for the holidays and things like that. So what we know after a decade of doing what we do is that fourth quarter will slow down. So we build our promos into the fourth quarter. Throughout the year, you won't see a lot of discounts from us. You won't see a lot of promos and bonuses and things like that. But as you start to get into the fourth quarter into our email sequence, we will start to give you promotional things, time-sensitive offers that expire. And what that's allowed us to do is actually take what used to be one of our slowest quarters and now actually make it one of our better quarters. Last month, December, historically, before we figured this out, one of our worst months. Last month, December, was one of our best months of the year last year. How do we take one of our worst months and make it our best? Because we had our email sequence we nurtured. Okay, we kept in front of people. We provided value, information, education. Then when we got into what typically is a slower period, then we started to offer promotions that expire. That prompted buying, and that prompting of buying helped us stay steady through what, before we figured this out, was one of our slowest quarters. Now it's one of our best. That is the value of what promos and time-sensitive offers can do. And that brings me to number 10, customer retention. Do you realize that 5% increase in your retention means a 25 to 100% increase in profits? What? 5% increase in promotion. Historic, or again, if you look at any of the studies out there, range from 25 to 100% increase in profit. You see, you're screwing up. I'm screwing up too. A lot of us do. We try to go get new customers. We're so fixed on going and attracting new people that costs us money to get. We go market. We do all these things that cost us money to bring in somebody new. And we lose sight of keeping the people we have. There's 3 ways to make money in a company. Number 1, get more customers. Number 2, sell that customer more often. And number 3, sell more to the customer you already have. But how many of the 3 are you actually doing? You're probably focusing on getting new customers, but how much of your time are you dedicating towards keeping the customers you have longer or getting them to buy more things? Most business owners aren't doing very much here. And email sequences help you retain a customer. If you look at why people quit, there's a normal behavior of buyer's remorse, whatever you're selling. So people come in, they buy, they come down off that high, and now they have remorse. Email sequences help prevent this. You see, we used to have a high dropout rate, and then we researched and we figured something out. We would market and provide all this value and all this great stuff to somebody, but the minute they'd enroll, we'd stop it all. There's no reason to continue to market and prospect to you when you're already a client, right? So once we figured this out, what we realized was we created a whole sequence just for the purpose of retention. And that sequence resold them on the benefits of why they wanted to buy from us in the first place. So we took this sequence and we basically said, hey, here's a case study of the person that did this. Hey, when you finish this step, here's what it looks like. Here's somebody that had that kind of success. Hey, you enroll with us to get this result. Don't lose sight of that dream. We resold them on why they bought to begin with. And when you do that, then what happens is you retain customers. So once we did this, our retention went through the roof. Our profits went through the roof because we realized that just because somebody buys doesn't mean you have to stop selling. You should continue to start selling a different way. Show them end results. Show them case studies. Show them testimonials. Talk about why they enrolled, their goals, what's ahead of them. And when you do that, your retention goes through the roof and your profits go through the roof without spending a lot more money to get more customers. Boom. 10 different reasons that marketing, email marketing can be so powerful for you. And I've given you a lot of stories along the way where you've seen how I've taken it to build multiple 7- and 8-figure businesses as you can as well. Wesley comes in and says, hey, Ty, can you talk about us actually interacting with a potential client face-to-face? Can we still leverage this email marketing steps you're showing us after speaking with the client beforehand? Absolutely, you can. As a matter of fact, what we do, Wesley, is we actually have different stages of our sales process. And when somebody talks to a customer, a potential customer, then it goes into a sales email sequence that, again, sells them on why they should buy. So the way we see it is after we present to a customer, they are making a decision. And we think about what they're going to take into account to make that decision, and we give it to them. We give them testimonials. We give them case studies. We give them all kinds of stories about what happens when they buy, what the experience is going to look like, what it's like to work with our software, what it's like to work with our team. So that's a good idea that you could implement, is have a sequence that after somebody's off the phone with you or your sales team, then start an email sequence specifically for them that sells them on the benefits of working with you. You see, our email sequence doesn't talk about us a lot. It talks about value and benefits and how they can progress. But then when somebody comes in and does a sales presentation with us, then we start talking more about us, what it's like to work with us. Here's other people that have had this result. Here's results. Here's testimonials. Here's case studies. We start reiterating what it's like to work with us and the results they could potentially get. And that's how we take it from that stage to making sales. Great question, Wesley. So that's it. I'm going to wrap up 10 different ways that you can use, or 10 different things that you can actually focus on with email marketing to be able to make this a powerful tool for you to build a 7- and 8-figure business. So if you got value from this training, make sure you like and subscribe. Right now, we've always talked about capital. We're talking about a lot of the things that we did marketing-wise, sales-wise, etc., to get to an 8-figure business. And if this is of value to you, let us know by liking and subscribing. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Take care. Have a great day. I look forward to seeing you on our next